I have no memory because we're live.
Welcome to the
Don't even do the theme song.
Undrafted
That's the opening.
Uncensored
We'll say.
cast of pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome everyone to Undrafted Uncensored. Ooh, I've got my notifications on, so sorry about that. Where I love snow football games when I'm sitting at home watching the snow and not actually out there watching this turn from, oh, look, a couple snowflakes to, holy shit, that's a lot of snow in a matter of 3 minutes.
I mean, I disagree in the sense that I love a good snow game, but only if it's a good game. The Broncos have not had a lot of good games in general over the past almost 10 fucking years, it feels like. So all the snow games have inherently been bad. But man, a good snow game, like when Josh McDaniels beat Bill Belichick in overtime, whoo. But like, when Cincinnati missed the field goal and we beat them, and then I think we still managed to miss the playoffs that year. But whatever, that was a great snow game. Like, I love me a good snow game. But yeah, negative, stupid degrees, ridiculousness. That Ravens game, that would have been hell.
The snow game that I went to that sticks out in my mind is against the Raiders when they were still in Oakland. Unfortunately, it was Rich Gannon completing a lot of passes and then a field goal after the Broncos were up by double digits to lose the game from Janikowski. Tim Brown getting loose for a very long touchdown. Yeah, that was a rough snow game. Not a lot of luck in the snow here, unfortunately.
That's rough, buddy.
But it's fun to watch other people suffer in the snow. Especially the lake effect snow in Cleveland.
Any of
that?
I was gonna say, but Jameis Winston loved it. He was blessed to play in the snow. And then, did you see all the Alabama girls wearing white meme that came up afterwards?
No.
Or the I was blessed with snow, and then someone saying that they went to the bathroom and someone gave them a little key with some cocaine on it. I've been blessed. It is a blessing to play in the snow.
I've been blessed with snow. And then it's just Lawrence Taylor standing right there.
Hey, look, it's Daryl Strawberry.
Crack.
And that, kids, brings me to my next point.
What are you doing here?
Don't smoke crack.
Thank you. Thanks, Lawrence.
Yeah. I was watching the Thursday night game, and it went from no weather to snow, and that it felt like. And what's funny is sometimes you get so lost in the game, you don't realize that weather is not happening at your house.
Did you go outside and try and do snow angels?
No, I was sitting there and I was watching the snow, and I was like, man, this is a good snow. And I got up to go to my fridge to grab something to drink. And as I'm coming back to sit down, I look outside and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not in Cleveland. It's just one of those moments where you forget sometimes. You just get so wrapped up in what's going on around you that you think it's around you.
The only time Nick's ever been disappointed to not be in
Cleveland.
Nick just wants to go back to Cleveland so bad.
I do want to go back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame one more time. I don't think I got quite all of the experience. I want to go one more time.
Speaking of traveling, I'm very much considering making it down to Vegas tomorrow.
Still doing it, huh?
Well, yes, but I also have like a $45 off thing from Vivid Seats, not a sponsor, but we'd love you to be. That I could get a ticket, but tickets have now dropped to under $115.
Ooh, that's not
bad.
So then you take $40 off of that, $70 for a ticket, basically. Let's
do it.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Definitely
Broncos
possibility.
Raiders, dude.
Don't let your
Lead
dreams
stadium.
be dreams.
I mean, I'm gonna, that'd be a way to knock off a few new stadiums from my list for sure.
See?
I'd have a few knocked off in a few days.
See?
Does it count? Is the baseball stadium built yet? Does it count if it's not built yet?
No, the baseball stadium is not built, but they have broken ground. I believe they broke ground, right, Nick?
I know
Didn't they have a groundbreaking ceremony? Okay.
I know they knocked it down. I don't remember. I think they're still kind of fighting a little bit about the land itself and whether or not it's official.
Okay. I thought they had some sort of groundbreaking ceremony.
Tampa, I guess, is in a fight now too with St. Pete and all that area because, just as the roof goes blowing off the Trop, so apparently to their hopes of the county assisting them in building a new facility, they all go blowing in the wind. And so I got to get to the Trop like ASAP because I'm pretty sure the Rays may not be there much longer.
Yeah, that's. I was hoping to see the Trop this year, obviously, and that.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we could use a baseball team here in Denver.
Could use a real one. Speaking of blowing in the wind, before it gets lost in the wind, a quick shout out, congratulations to the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, the football team up there for winning the USL championship today, 3-0 over Rhode Island. I was flipping back and forth between that because I can't watch soccer for 90 straight minutes or however long. I mean, I know it's 90 minutes then time and blah blah blah, but I was switching back and forth. But the Switchbacks come out victorious, 3-0.
Were they on TV?
Yeah, it was on 4. It was on CBS early.
I got caught up watching that Ohio State Iowa game.
Indiana.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, that game was, well, I mean, we'll hit on in the victory formation, but that game was fun for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought I had potential. That's the only reason I stuck around.
I looked up and I was like, oh, damn.
Oh, yeah, they win. But, yeah, so I didn't want to get caught up in football before wishing our most recent champion in Colorado congratulations.
Good call. I'm glad you caught that because I remembered about them, but they're like the Rapids. You don't always think about them until you're in front of them, and you're like, "Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about them."
Yeah, the only soccer gear I own, one Rapids thing that's pretty much a schmedium on me, because I got fatter and I've had it for years, and it was a freebie when I worked there. But that's okay.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with free.
I got fatter too.
Speaking of the Raiders, speaking of Vegas, it's Raiders week as we talked about earlier this week. I have the injury list pulled up right here. I did, and then it went away. So, I mean, let's start with what 205 game in Vegas. What are we looking at?
Football.
Are we excited? Are we nervous? Are we worried?
No, not anymore.
But it's one of those where because I'm not worried, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed if something happens. But no, the Broncos they were down 10-0 against this team, and then obviously Pat Surtain gets you a pick 6. That's gonna put you back in any football game. But still, like it feels like they've got him where they want him, and the offense moves just well enough. Max Crosby's had a relatively down year, knock on wood. Broncos also seem to have the number 1 pass blocking offensive line in the NFL, which is crazy, but hell yeah. They've been good, even with McGlinchey out. We had our guy, Palczewski, in there kicking ass. So I just feel like they're firing on all cylinders, and it may be scarier or closer maybe than we would hope or like, but I'm just happy to beat the Raiders. Like, breaking the streak against the Raiders was sweet, and now I want to start our own streak.
Well, we still have one streak against the Raiders to break.
Give me something to break. It's the at-home streak, right?
On the road, 2016.
There we go, on the road. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not nervous about this game, and it helps for that pass rush that your quarterback isn't turning himself into the sackers
Yeah.
anymore. One of the reasons why the offensive line was so bad last year was the quarterback would basically turn himself into the person rushing him, and
hold on, what? Because you were
it was one of the reasons.
You were
one
on
of the
a
reasons.
soapbox about how bad the line was last year, and I believe Nick
and
was
Russell
the one
Wilson,
saying,
and
I'm
yes,
pretty sure Russell Wilson holds on to the ball.
but I was on a soapbox more
line's
so.
pretty
Yes,
good.
no, I know, but it also helps when your quarterback is getting rid of the ball. Like that's what I'm saying. There's still pass rush. There's still a pass rush getting through. Like, but you don't turn yourself into the sacks. It helps, especially getting rid of the ball. No, I was on the soapbox of the offensive line because they were also averaging 3 yards of rush or less, which they're still not rushing the ball. They're still not great at. So, like I said, a quarterback will help you change these things. And Bo Nix has helped me change some of my tune to this team as far as where we're at now.
Does Colin believe?
The way
believe?
Yes, the way that Bo Nix has transformed from the first few games and what Sean Payton has done for him, it's been a pretty much a very drastic rise from where things started this season. When you look at where Bo Nix is now and what he's done in the last few games, I mean, what he threw for 76 yards in New York against the Jets, right? It was 76, 68, whatever the hell it was. He's had some terrible games where he missed open receivers, and now it's becoming, a lot more of less on him than it is on little Jordan Humphrey. That's who's mostly to blame for the issues on the offense anymore.
Hey, lay off my guy.
I tell him to hold on to the damn ball. Besides even when he's wide open, he's fumbling sometimes. He caught one last week but he caught one last week that even let's do it there. Ashley Lee could have caught. All right.
Thank God
so let's
that ball. All right.
So
if he didn't fumble it, then
So let's not pretend that was a tough pass. Kadarius Toney would have caught that one too.
Wow, Ashley.
So let's not pretend that Lil Jordan Humphrey had a good game because he had a touchdown last week. He doesn't deserve the number 84. Shannon Sharp should go and rip that thing off of his back.
Yeah, that's weird. He wore 17 last year. I don't know what happened. I don't know why he switched. 17 was fine.
Yeah.
There's no.
I don't care. I don't care about 17. 84, 84, you're hurting my soul. But the Broncos are going up against a Raiders team who dominated them in every aspect of the game last time they played, and the Broncos still walked away with a victory. I mean, the Raiders right now couldn't score on Madonna in the 80s, okay? They're terrible. They're pathetic.
Why are we being so mean today?
That was a good one. That's my fault. I poked him there. I fired him up. I called him out.
No, I mean, you're right, but I still don't think the offensive line is totally fixed. They still need to use high draft picks to fix it. It's still kind of a mismatch of players who I think there is some talent there, but you have some dumb penalties. We saw it last week with Garrett Bowles. But we're playing the Broncos are playing a Raiders team that is terrible. And one thing that I've seen from Sean Payton is that no matter how bad the team is that you're facing, he's getting these guys prepared. So am I worried about a letdown? No, because I think Sean Payton has proven that he's going to have these guys ready to play a bad team and win the games that they should win, and hopefully be competitive going forward in the games that they aren't favored or aren't looked at like they're favorites. Them being a 3-point favorite in this game is an absolute joke. I mean, I've been teasing it up as much as I can because I think the Broncos easily, with the way the offense is going right now, besides the ineffectiveness of the run game, it's like spotty effective. I think that they can run away with this game unless the Broncos decide to take the air out of the ball at some point. But I say I don't think Sean Payton's the type of coach to take the air out of the ball. So I think he's going to let Bo Nix cook. We got a new chef in the kitchen.
I think what helps too is they have that Black Friday game too against the Chiefs. So they have a relatively quick turnaround too. So, they've been trying to do double duty all week as well. And
duty.
and try and, prepare for not only the Broncos, but start prepping for the Chiefs, even though you don't really have to because it's a freaking division rival. Broncos only have 2 guys listed as going to be out this weekend. And that's Josh Reynolds and Drew Sanders. They're both listed as out. Drew Sanders the Achilles. Josh Reynolds, obviously, the hand surgery.
Yep.
And then Zach Allen is questionable which is weird because it was non-injury related rest in his heel. He was limited. He was full. That he was limited, so he's questionable.
Just can't decide.
Yeah,
But like I said, they have. I mean, all you need to do is not call a play, and you'll fake out Max Crosby in this game. We saw that. Thank you, Mike McDaniel. And then we'll just get a bunch of offsides and whatever. Brock Bowers. I mean, Brock Bowers is the only one that could score with Madonna. Like that's the only scorer on their team. All right, guys, let's not pretend like this team. Their running backs are all hurt. They're down to Amir Abdullah, I believe. Xavier White, Zamir White,
and Alexander Madison.
Alexander Madison are both going to be out of this game. Obviously, they didn't have Devontae Adams in the first game, so they still don't have him. Jacoby Myers burnt us last year in game 1.
But that was because Devontae Adams was taking up a lot of the attention on the other side. So,
so sure, can they get a touchdown? Of course, that anything's possible. But I would bet on this Broncos defense showing up, shutting down the Raiders, getting out of there with a victory, and then looking ahead to next week.
Yeah, I mean the Raiders aren't even incentivized to win. Right now, they're in the Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter. Maybe it's a different quarterback that they like or whatever that they want to go after. Maybe it's Cam Ward, or maybe they want the actual pocket passer in, I believe Ewers is coming out this year. Whoever. They're kind of chilling, and they've got a guy they can kind of root for, but they're okay with losing with in Gardner Minshew. Like, it's kind of set up well for them to go. And I think Antonio Pierce is going to end up with
a pink slip,
pseudo carte blanche. Like, he hasn't had anything to work with. They've had a terrible team, and he's extremely inexperienced too. So giving him a little bit more time to maybe give him a team that's capable of doing anything, because we all can see this team was not on it. But they could also say, you know what? It's not really his fault. We just want Bill Belichick or Deion Sanders or who the fuck ever. So he could end up being out. But I feel like right now it's in their best interest to just, get their asses beat by the Broncos. So let's make that happen, guys.
I like I said, I think the Raiders can't really afford to get rid of Antonio Pierce, but I think they're going to.
Yeah,
because I think this is just a whole sweeping change. This is the wipeout of the organization and the players. They're going to start it over with Brock Bowers, basically.
Coach, GM, everything. Yeah,
and just wipe it clean, because they couldn't decide between Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. They've been going back and forth. Neither. Well, yeah, and that's the future. So I think what the decision is for the Raiders, what's going to come up is where they end up drafting, and are they going to go? How hard are they going to go after Deion if it's Shedeur, and how hard are they going to go after Bill Belichick if it's Quinn Ewers?
I don't know. I still don't know if Belichick's.
Vrabel.
Oh, he wants back in.
Vrabel's a Raiders guy. Like, he's not a Raiders guy, but
that would make sense.
That would, yeah.
Yeah, Tom Brady. They have the relationship. But that's why I say Belichick, because they've got the Tom Brady connection already. They can kind of rebuild and do whatever. But Vrabel makes a lot of sense.
Vrabel, I think that popped in my mind.
That's
if you want to go back to old school, like pissed off Raiders, get Brian Flores. Just go out there and I'm sure Richie Incognito has been retired for multiple years. Bring him in as like a coach to teach people how to hold and bully.
I mean, it worked for them for many years. Why not just go back to it? I don't know. I don't know if that Brady Belichick relationship ever really repaired itself. So I don't see Bill going to Vegas.
I mean, he could, but I kind of get the sense that once Tom went to Tampa, he wanted that separation from Belichick.
Yeah.
But I could see Tom, throwing him a bone and being like, all right, Bill, here's a shot. Thanks for what you did for me. But I once I thought about Vrabel, I really think that might be who they go after, because that would bring that mentality, and having
Man,
a
that'd be
Max
scary.
Crosby there.
That'd
Yeah,
be scary.
the coaches in the AFC West, Vrabel, Harbaugh, Reed, and then Peyton. Oh man, that's
Or imagine if it is Bill Belichick, that'd be insane.
yeah.
Yeah, like remember how we all said like this is going to be the greatest quarterback division in history of football because Russell Wilson, and then look how that turned out. It would be that for coaching, or
It
maybe
would be the greatest.
maybe
Yeah.
Belichick ends up being Russell Wilson.
Hey, Bo Nix is getting there.
He's a couple years, maybe, but definitely not now. But
No.
still, like I like him. We were talking today. Is Bo Nix potentially like kind of a legitimate contender for Rookie of the Year? And I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but he's like it feels like he's number 2 for it, but he also isn't that serious of a contender. But if Jaden Daniels has a couple of losses and a couple bad games, Bo Nix keeps winning. Like,
Well, you have to remember, a lot of that voting too is recency bias too.
That's true.
So as Bo continues to climb in his skill and his abilities, like you said, all it takes is maybe a couple losses, and maybe now Bo takes over the lead. I mean, you throw your money on his plus 1,500 right now.
It's not 1,500.
I know. I was just making.
It's 350. I already put a bet on it.
Good work.
I think mine was 5.
Yeah. What I do have to say about that is that Sean Payton is calling great plays, and he is protecting Bo in a lot of ways. Bo is playing great, so I don't want to take anything away from that. He's making the plays that are in front of him. But when you look at Jaden Daniels and you look at the Commanders, there are a few things that are working against him. One, he's injured. We'll see how he comes back after his bye, because
ribs, right?
Yeah, he had ribs. So how is he going to stand up throughout the whole season if he's already injured? Could we see him miss a game or two? I mean, literally missing one game could be the downfall for his Rookie of the Year candidacy.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is, coaching. Cliff Kingsbury, their offensive coordinator, sucks at the second half of seasons. I don't know if you guys did I pop that stat up for the Commanders the other week?
No.
Okay.
No,
I will find it, but
with the Cardinals every year. Yeah.
And with Texas Tech.
Really?
He has done it every year. His offense has gone downhill. He doesn't have a winning record after like the halfway point in the season. So, and this goes back, like I said, to his Texas Tech days. It includes Arizona. He might have one 500 record in there, or maybe one winning season. Excuse me. He has one winning season out of the last like 10.
Because the Cardinals,
that was when the Cardinals won like 13 or 12.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But besides
still,
that, once
like the Hail Murray was early in the season, and then it was like they were barely winning games. Yeah.
So teams tend to figure out the offenses for Kingsbury, and so when I look at that, I've also put money on the Commanders not making the playoffs. If the Commanders don't make the playoffs, Jaden Daniels isn't going to be the Rookie of the Year.
No.
Yeah, definitely.
Or Offensive Player of the Year, whatever, Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know.
Whatever it is.
All of them.
Yeah.
But the Broncos and Bo Nix, you're right. You're right, Nick. It is a recency bias thing. And so give me Bo Nix. I mean, I put my shares on him too late because I didn't believe until now.
God bless Bo Nix.
I think I got lucky just before he started getting those Rookie of the Week and Rookie of the Month awards. I think I was up at like plus 500 maybe, or a little bit higher. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that felt like this could be a sneaky choice.
Yeah, I mean it's a good bet right now. Like I said, the Broncos offense, they also have this string of games where they're facing not good defenses. Cleveland.
We've been looking forward to this for a few weeks. Like we said, it was the Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons gauntlet that was going to be really tough. And after that, man, it really opens up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like that. You're driving through the mountains. You have that 2-lane area that opens up as you hit that curve to get around those slow drivers, and you're just like, the slow drivers were the Ravens and the Chiefs, and you're just like navigating, just stay in this lane, just be patient, everything will be fine. And now it's opened up. We're just getting around those slow cars and those buses, Head to Blackhawk.
There you go.
Ooh.
I was thinking it's kind of like the Valley coming down on 285
Oh,
down into South Park,
there
where
you
it's just
go.
that massive, like almost plateau. Where it's just like, oh man, this is open. I can
Okay.
see stuff.
Kick it up a couple gears here.
Yeah, exactly.
Buffs
I
are still
can drive
moving.
55.
Yeah, Buffs are plus money right now. I just got them at plus 120.
No, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, they trail by 9 right now.
It's all right. I'll take it. They've had a tendency.
State BYU, and I'm upset.
That's just how they are.
They've had a tendency to start these games slow, and
Yeah.
they've also shown a propensity to be able to come back. So I hope that's what they can do, even though it's in a hostile environment. Man, that crowd in
crowd's
Kansas
nasty,
is
dude.
wild. I got caught up in the game, and so I
did
apologize
too.
for being a few minutes late. I was like, "Oh crap, here we go."
I was doing the same thing. I was just so wrapped up in the game, and I was like, "Oh man, we got to do a show soon." Oh crap!
The show's now. By the way, the over/under is at 69.
Nice.
Over/under, upside down, inside out.
Yeah. Speaking of inside
Flip it
out,
up and reverse it.
Let's talk about the lack of defense with the Denver Nuggets there last night. I was lucky enough to be there in person
to
watch that 24-point debacle.
I mean, it was sick right up until it wasn't.
Dude, there was absolutely zero defense. It was frustrating. You could tell Joker had been off for a week. He was just a little off. MPJ thinks he has to continuously shoot threes. Jamal still is building houses for the homeless, I guess. And really the only guys that meant anything were Swatson, CB, and Westbrook.
Yeah, that's been the story. Those three have been stepping up continuously. And it's just I hate that we kind of have to accept the early season Jamal bullshit, but it's going to get better, but it's going to be infuriating the whole time. And every year we're going to be talking like this. And because you've got people in Denver that are talking about already like get rid of him, well, they could figure out something. James Harden's been traded so many times in the past few years
James Harden too,
with some of the biggest contracts. Like Jamal Murray would be a better fit, and a lot of those teams than James Harden would be. So you could make a trade for him. You're just not going to get the return you want back. But like, just people saying that's what they should do and getting all upset, and like I feel like the Nuggets are going to stand pat. They're going to believe in him, and until there's some sort of playoff collapse, or he gets injured a bunch more times, knock on wood. It's like this is what we're going to end up being stuck with, because when it's on, him and Joker have this sixth sense. They see dead people.
It's Embiid.
Exactly. It's amazing. But, it's just I mean, games like that, though, they're going to break your heart, especially in the regular season, early in the season. I saw one take that Jamal should be benched at the end of games for Westbrook. And it's
not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Malone benched MPJ. I mean, I know MPJ isn't the same player as Jamal, but Malone benched MPJ at the end of games for defense. And in this case, there were stupid fouls by Jamal. And so I bet this game at half when they were down by 20. I bet the Nuggets to win it, and it was looking good.
It looked like they were going to.
They were up by 4 with under 2 minutes left, and then they blew it. But I also bet them plus 9.5 where it was at. They were down by 20, and so, Joe. I mean, you're right. Like, there's talk of that. I don't see why not. Like, you move Joker in and out of the lineups. Not all the time, but you move him out at the end of some games for those defensive fouls. Like, move Jamal Murray out if he's not playing good defense. Like, get him out of there.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
Well, I mean, yesterday it was the whole team. I mean, I don't think they had an offensive rebound until the second quarter. Their defensive rebounds were 2-1 against. The Mavericks were 2-1 defensively on rebounds. It was. I mean, just watching the stats, it was so one-sided through that first half, and as the Mavs lead grew, it just felt like the Nuggets got slower and dumber. And I was like, where's this team that's we're used to? I know Joker's been out for a week, but you guys just proved the other night that you can win without him. And now here you are, and you have Joker back, and all of a sudden everybody takes their foot off the gas. It's like you can't do that. You're a team. It's a team effort.
Is this a classic letdown scenario though? Oh, we have Joker back. They don't have. Oh my God, Luka. Yeah, like okay. Well, this will be an easy game, and then all of a sudden they wake their asses up in the third quarter and start to play, but it's too late.
Yeah,
and they have to expend too much energy to get back in the game.
Yeah, how different would those 2 points have been too that they pulled off because MPJ was just a hair late getting that finger roll up into the basket. How much? You didn't see that?
No.
In the third quarter, he was making a drive down the lane and went up with his layup, just a little finger roll layup, and the shot clock hit 0 just as it was coming off his finger. And of course, they're reviewing it as the play continues, and they pulled those 2 points off. How different do those 2 points play in decision making and your lead if you end up with one? And so it was just one of those things where every little thing was just blown out of proportion, or just blown up more, because every little mistake just seemed to make everything bigger.
And how funny was it that the one time Jamal Murray needs to not make the fucking shot, he puts it in, like, what?
With no problem.
What? Like, making that shot kills the game. Like, it's over now.
Yeah,
because they can just, dude. It was so bad. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
and he kind of like laughed it off, and with like a "I understand that I just fucked up" kind of look on his face, not like
he did.
Not like a Melvin Gordon after he fumbled kind of look, like whatever. Like, he did actually seem to understand and care. We'll see if it shows up on the court, but dude, that how just poetic was that?
Yeah, it was a Shaq laser free throw in.
Yeah,
like that's literally what it looked like, a Shaq free throw that just went right in. Like, what the heck? That's not supposed to go in, and it wasn't. I don't know how it. Like, that's just, I don't know. That was weird, and that was kind of the Nuggets' luck though. They didn't deserve to win that game with the way that they played, and so like they lost it. Kind of the basketball gods, teasing you, if you don't show up to play the whole game, you're not going to win them.
Yeah,
and the other thing, where the hell are the free throws? They shot, I believe they were 50% from the free throw line, or they were close to it.
They were close to it. If
they missed, it was like 10 out of 20 on free throws.
Yeah.
I don't have the stats. I heard it on my way home from the DU hockey game. By the way, DU suffered their first loss on the season last night.
Ooh, who'd they lose to?
Arizona State. I had a weird feeling about it. Thankfully, there were no bets placed. But I was on my way home and I heard the stat that they missed like 10 out of 20 free throws or something along those lines. Close to that,
right? Because I was watching the stats on the end of the Diamond Vision from our seats. So props to Alex Becker, by the way, for taking me. Appreciate you, brother. That was fun.
Becker. Yeah. Hi, Becker. I don't know. This team misses Aaron Gordon's free throw shooting.
Yeah.
Is that weird to say?
No. I mean,
we miss Aaron Gordon, but we miss guys who can make free throws when they want to make them.
Or shots in general.
Should make them.
I mean, they were, I believe, number 1 in the NBA in free throws for a while this year. I don't know if they still are. I mean, attempts, but because of all the paint and all the, Christian Brown, Russell Westbrook, those additions to, the starting lineup and the bench respectively, have had the Nuggets be, I don't know if they still are, but they were number 1 in free throw shooting, which is insane. And then to shoot 50%, that's really bad.
Yeah.
I was going to say, speaking of Christian Brown, how much did that place erupt on his reverse dunk?
Oh, dude.
That was so sick.
Oh, man. Everybody was on their feet for that one.
Look on his face as he goes up and he's like, "Ah!" Like, he's got 2 dunks now for dunk of the year.
Oh, man. That was so amazing.
Like, and
I'm
what
still
a
taking the
feed!
Gobert one over it, but yeah.
What a feed from it was MPJ, right? Yeah, MPJ
Yeah.
threw it to him. Like MPJ gets double teamed, and then Christian just cuts to the basket, and he gets a perfect pass to him. He goes up and under. Like, what a play! He
Yeah.
is the Nuggets. The Nuggets got a steal.
Oh,
to
they
win
did.
him. There's, he might. In all honesty, I know we talk about KCP and his shooting and what this team lost, but I think the Nuggets still got the better end of it because
Oh yeah.
KCP has a whole different role in Orlando, so it's hard to compare his stats
Yeah.
and what he's asked to do down there. Between him and Christian right now, just because it's a completely different game for him. He's not being a role player. He's more of a key player in that offense. So he's asked to do more and he's focused on more. So his chances and his opportunities aren't as great as they were here. But Christian is taking full advantage of taking that role over. And, I don't know if he's going to be an all-star, but he's going to get invited to the all-star weekend at least. Because
Rising Stars, yeah, probably.
Isn't Rising Stars, this is his third year.
I don't know what
his rookie year was the championship season.
All I know is that Jose Alvarado was in it when he was like 29. So I'm not sure what the cutoff is for Rising Stars, but I'm sure he'll probably get in stuff. Like if it wasn't for Grady Dick, I don't know if I said this to you guys or not. He'd be a front runner for MIP, most improved player. But Grady Dick is averaging like 30 because he's a pure scorer. But something. Probably not, but man, that's I'm going to one game this year. I'm going to chant MIP when Christian Brown gets some free throws.
Well, and I mean, it's the same thing that we talked about with Jaden Daniels a second ago. Grady, I mean, he got injured at Kansas.
Yep, just takes one.
I mean, I don't think Christian missed a game. His whole time up until last year, right?
Were they teammates at Kansas then? I guess they would have been, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they were.
They would have They could have overlapped because Grady was only there for two years? It 1 year? Was it 1 year or 2 years? Did he stay the whole time? I don't know. They easily could have overlapped. So I'm sure they know each other though.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Christian, I think is he's a highlight reel. He's a tough-minded player. And he's got some that, and I think Westbrook has actually helped him a lot more than we think because the mentality Westbrook has is just kind of a fuck it, move on, let's go, I'm going to do whatever I need to do. And Christian he's stopped thinking as much as we talked about it last year all the time. Christian was overthinking everything he was doing, and you could see it. And now he is playing a lot more free. So I feel like being in the starting lineup has helped him, but I think Russell Westbrook's appearance in a Nuggets uniform has helped him to kind of get an attitude of, I'm going to play as hard as I can and I'm not saving it for something else. And I'm just going to do whatever I feel is best.
Well, and I told Alex last night too, Westbrook's making me eat crow and I'll eat it because I didn't think he was going to fit in. I didn't think he was going to be able to humble himself to not being the guy. And I thought he was going to have a hard time adjusting to, playing second fiddle to at least playing second fiddle to Joker. And I'll eat the crow all day, dude. I was wrong.
Westbrook? Oh, Westbrook's been doing that for the past 4 years. And he's been really good. He was really good off the bench for the Lakers. He was really good off the but it's off the bench. That's something that Carmelo Anthony couldn't do. That's something that a lot of those guys that were they couldn't handle it. He goes to the Clippers and does the same thing, both in the starting lineup and then off the bench when they traded for James Harden, who was less of a good fit than Westbrook was. But he's still missing shots, and he's Westbrook is always going to be the meme.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets, I think, have used him well enough and kind of limited his minutes. But yeah, I think he's kind of been that perfect transitional guy. That corner that moves to safety.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna do it again, and come to Denver and just be like, okay, I'm not the guy. I'll just be here and on the sidelines, just kind of yay team. And I mean, again, he's just shown me that I was wrong. I thought he was going to be a problem.
Yeah, and he's one of those dudes. Like I saw a great video of like Russell Westbrook being funny or something on those lines, and it was real dark mood lighting in the Lakers locker room, and it's LeBron and Darvin Ham, and they're like talking to the whole team. They're like, "Yeah, guys, let's get greedy. Let's stay greedy. You know, that was a great win. We got to win more. We got to win by more." And then Russ is like, "Yeah, guys, let's just have fun. You know, play for each other. You know, win, lose, or draw. We're just out here to have a good time, guys. Yeah." And he's like dapping up LeBron, and LeBron's like, "God."
Well, and I think that's one thing that I know we had discussed in the offseason when he was brought in here was that there were rumors of him being a bad teammate, but then once you dove deeper into other people's comments, it was a few people who didn't like him as a teammate. And a majority of players did enjoy playing with him and thought he was a good teammate. So that I remember saying eased my mind a bit about bringing him in here, especially because, you know, as we have talked about and we'll continue to harp on, if Jamal Murray isn't right, then Westbrook is a competent enough backup to be playing this game with the Nuggets and playing the 2-man game with the Jokic if he has to go in and start, because I think he understands his role here more so than other places. I think in other places he was looked at, you have to come off the bench and you have to be the spark plug, the scorer, you have to be the guy to put up all the shots. But there are other players on this team. You know, Watson hit some big threes last night, or a big three last night. I don't know if he hit more than one.
That's more than he was hitting last year. I'll take it.
Strother is kind of Strother is struggling. He's can't really find his footing. But I think that the Westbrook narrative was, like I said, blown out, and I don't blame you. Like I said, Nick, we discussed it, but upon further review, it was all for shame.
Yeah,
and a lot of that stuff was true about him early in his career. He reminds me a lot of Terrell Owens. How after he left the Cowboys, he became a pretty good fucking teammate with Buffalo, with Cincinnati.
That's my quarterback.
You know, that's my quarterback. Yeah, like he actually was pretty loyal to those guys. Like the whole Philly thing, the Buffalo thing, I mean the Cowboys thing. Those he destroyed those locker rooms. But after that, like him and Trent Edwards were so close in Buffalo. Like when he went to Cincinnati, he actually got Ocho Cinco to calm down and probably play a couple more years when he was about to Antonio Brown himself out of the league.
I was going to say he's much more T.O. than Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in, by the way. We're a little late thanking you. Make sure you share, like, love. Tell your friends, tell your mom's friends.
Live, laugh, love.
Yes. All right. Well, speaking of potential, the Hall of Fame ballot has been released for Cooperstown. And allow me to pull this up real quick. Sorry.
Who is Cooper and why does he get his own town?
I'm rich, bitch.
There we go. So there's several new players to the ballot. We'll go with the returners first because there are a couple of Rockies that are going on the ballot here this year.
The kick returners?
Billy Wagner will be returning. Oh, the Avs are starting too, damn it. Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran, Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, Chase Utley, Omar Vizquel, Bobby Abreu, Jimmy Rollins, Andy Pettit, Mark Burley, Francisco Rodriguez, Torrey Hunter, and David Wright. Those are all the guys returning. Manny's in his 9th year. Andrew Jones is in his 8th year. And Billy Wagner enters his 10th and final year on the ballot. As for the new names going on, Curtis Granderson, Felix Hernandez, Adam Jones, Ian Kinsler, Russell Martin, Brian McCann, Dustin Pedroia, Hanley Ramirez, Fernando Rodney, CeCe Sabathia, Ichiro Suzuki, Ben Zobrist, Carlos Gonzalez, and Troy Tulowitzki. Like how I did those last. Left everybody waiting.
Cargo too low. Are either of them actually Hall of Famers, do you guys think? Because
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I felt like they were fun here, great players here, but I didn't feel like they were at the level of like Todd Helton, Larry Walker.
Tulo had too many injuries. Oh, you got it pulled up. Thank you.
There you go.
Does it show the next page? Did it show it switch over?
Oh, look,
Tulo was he wasn't high enough. He was too low.
Tulo had too many injuries. If plus that whole thing with Toronto getting traded, and I think that kind of put a little mark on his career as well. Going to Toronto didn't help him a whole lot. Cargo's career was just too short. He got good late. Go ahead, Colin.
I was gonna say Tulo, all the days off. I think that really hurts him.
Yeah.
The only ones that are guaranteed are Ichiro and CC. That's it. Felix Hernandez could be on there because he had a 3-year run, 4-year run of being one of the most dominant pitchers, but he played in Seattle, which, if he had that perfect game, it would have been a little different.
He did.
I thought he just had the no-hitter. His perfect game got.
No, I thought he had a perfect game too.
Maybe okay.
Like
maybe he did.
At the end of his career.
Okay.
Kevin
but CC and Ichiro are the only ones on this newcomer list. Tulo has a chance because he was the best shortstop in the league for a period of time. Cargo was never the best outfielder in the league. Adam Jones had a lot of time. But on this list, like I said, the only guys who were the best of the best as far as what they were good at would be CC and Ichiro. So they're guaranteed. The other guys, it's going to be a popularity contest.
Yeah. I think Felix will get in. He won't be first ballot, but he'll be within his first 5 years. Adam Jones, I love the dude, but he's not anything. As far as these returners,
yeah.
You mean Pac-Man Jones?
Nope.
No. As far as these returners, Billy the Kid, he has to get in this year. I mean, he was at 73% last year. He should have been in last year. Should have been in a few years before that too. David Wright, again, injuries.
Yeah. Manny's going to get in.
No, he won't.
He's going to eventually get in.
Steroids.
I think he's getting in. I do.
I don't think there's enough young riders for him to get in. I think there's still too much of the old guard.
Maybe. I think that I don't know. I feel like Manny's getting in more so on his popularity too.
But that's because of the younger riders too. And the old guard was not going to let Manny in. They're not going to let A-Rod in. I mean
Pettit's not getting in.
Who's that?
Pettit.
No. As much as I love Andy, same thing. He got busted, just like Clemens did. Beltran's wrapped up in some of that. Plus, he was wrapped up in the Astro scandal.
Astro stuff. Yeah, that's the only way I know that name is because people were talking about what a great acquisition Carlos Beltran was to the Astros as some sort of contributor guy because he was part of all that, trash can stuff.
Yeah.
And K-Rod, dude, he had such a good short span with the Halos. Again, injuries derailed him. I mean, he's probably borderline. He was one of the best closers in baseball, though.
Yeah.
You can not have K-Rod in there.
Yeah, I think that it goes with the same thing as I was talking about with Tulowitzki. He was the best at his position for a time. So I think Tulo's definitely not first ballot, but I think Rodriguez does get in. K-Rod Francisco Rodriguez does get in. Because he was the best closer for that was another 4 or 5 year span where he was the lights out guy.
Yeah.
You brought him in and the game was over. So I think between those guys, when you're looking at it, Vizquel's just not going to make it. I don't know. Like I said, I think that I think this list is we're just set up not to have a lot of enshrinements.
Not for a while now.
Yeah. Because baseball, you don't have to enshrine people every year.
Which is probably a good thing. It feels like there's some dudes that really that guy's already in the Hall of Fame in the NFL.
Yeah.
But it's still nowhere near basketball. The fact that Tony Kukoc is in the Hall of Fame.
Dude, if you dribble a basketball on an NBA floor, it seems like you're in the Hall of Fame.
Well, for a championship team.
Speaking of NBA floors, all right, I kind of like the Nuggets cup floor.
Yeah, Alex and I talked about it last night. I liked it last night way more. It's not obnoxious.
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a basketball court already.
Some of them I don't like, but I like the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Because they had that stupid blue last year, the dark blue or whatever.
Yeah, and it was obnoxious.
It didn't feel very Nuggets. It would have felt better if it was the powder blue, the mellow era. Obviously different, right? The wrong era would have felt better. It kind of needed to be the gold. I love gold.
You know who else loves gold?
Austin Powers.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin just kind of winging it.
Oh, that's right, everybody. This is the victory formation where we make real bets with fake money and keep track of it so we know who would win the most at the end of the year. Last week, 2 of us went 1-4, and 1 of us went 3-2. We all know which way that one went because Nick decided to follow me for the most part, but we'll go into it as we kick things off with the game that we started the show off talking about, Indiana, Ohio State. Nick was the only one to choose Ohio State at minus 485. It's also the lowest win of the week as me and Joe both picked Indiana. The Kings versus the Clippers. Well, the Clippers won that game. So Joe wins 20-50 as Nick and I lose. Does that sound like a trend? It should, because the Oilers also beat the Wild, or the Oilers lost to the Wild in Edmonton last night. And so Joe wins $23 there.
And one job.
In double overtime, Baylor beat St. John's 99-98. A game St. John's should have won, but didn't. Once again, Joe, the only one to pick Baylor in that game, 17-04. I was the only one to pick Pittsburgh to win this week. And the biggest win of the week, but or Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh, excuse me. No, Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I'm mixing them up. I was looking at something else, and I should have just stuck with what I was on. So I was the only one to pick Cleveland over Pittsburgh, as Jameis Winston, we all know, loves the snow. So that means that I won 26-40 in this game. Meaning for this week, Nick lost $27.94, bring him down under $800. He's at $783.40. I lost $13.60. I'm at $930.91. And Joe is back in first place, winning $40.54, $974.48. Will he be the first to break 1,000 in this year's Pick'em? Yes. Well, let's get into the games this weekend. First game we are going to start with is the Eagles playing the Rams on Sunday Night Football. Eagles minus 155 favorites in Los Angeles. Nick, who you got?
Fly, Philly, fly.
Nick is taking the Eagles. He loves Philadelphia. Joe, who you got?
You said Rams or Chargers?
Rams.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Fight. Eagles fight. I don't actually know their fight song. I just know it starts with that. We'll take the Eagles.
It goes EAGLES. And the Panthers just scored the first goal of the game. I am taking the Rams at home. The Rams look good. They have Puka Nacua back. They have Cooper Kupp. I think that they are getting hot at the right time. So give me the Rams. And I'm ready for the late season Philly collapse and the Philly freak out.
Oh, freak out.
So on to Monday Night Football. On Monday Night Football, we have another game in LA. This is the Ravens versus the Chargers, though, this time. Ravens come in as minus 142 favorites over the home team Chargers, the half-full home stadium of the Chargers at plus 120. Joe,
the home team is the Ravens.
Who you got?
Since the Ravens are playing at home, something feels different this year. I don't know if the Chargers are gonna Charger, so I'm gonna take Jim in the Harbowl.
I am also taking Jim in the Harbowl. The Chargers, I think, are on the rise. The Ravens have looked like they don't have an identity. like the times that they should run Derrick Henry, they don't. And I don't know if they'll decide to do that, but the Chargers defense is quietly very good. The Ravens defense hasn't been as dominant as it normally is. So give me the Chargers at home. Nick?
I mean, the Ravens are going to see the mistakes they've been making. They're going to correct them. They're still one of the best teams in the AFC. Give me the Ravens.
I can't really blame you for taking the Ravens there. But what I will say is that we have a top 25 matchup that I don't know if both teams should be in the top 25 in college football.
Oof.
But they are. Army plus 455, number 19 against Notre Dame. Number 6 at 9-1.
Oh.
Notre Dame, a huge favorite at minus 625. Army at plus 455. I want one of these service schools to go undefeated. So just whatever. Give me Army. Just give me on Army. Just do it. Nick, who you got?
I'm with you, dude. I love rooting for the service schools. I really do. But I don't know. I can't. I mean, I'm too far down. Give me the Golden Domers.
Joe, who you got?
Man, I don't know if Notre Dame has played anybody. So I'm going to go with Army. Fuck it.
One thing I do want to say is it feels like it's been a week of upsets. And as we sit currently, number 14 BYU is losing. Number 16 Colorado is losing. There are some Ole Miss lost to Florida already. So some top 25s in trouble. Illinois struggled against Rutgers. I'm just saying. We move into the last one of the week. We have some top 5 NCAA basketball. Number 4 Auburn takes on number 5 Iowa State. I don't have any odds for this because I believe this was Monday's basketball game. I don't think it's Sunday night. But Nick, who you got? Number 4 Auburn or number 5 Iowa State?
Bo Jackson went to Auburn, so I'm going Auburn.
This is the Monday night game. Excuse me. So Nick's taking Auburn. All right, Joe.
I don't know who went to Iowa State, but I'll take him.
I am also taking Iowa State because Auburn screwed me earlier this year. Well, Houston screwed me, but Auburn beat Houston earlier this year after they shouldn't have. And so I just, screw you, Auburn and Cam Newton.
Should have kept Bo Nix.
yeah, should have kept Bo Nix. They let go of Bo Nix. Who cares?
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, give me Iowa State at home over Auburn in that matchup. And
God bless Bo Nix.
With that, let's go a little dance pop on the way
Dance
out.
pop, he says. Look at that.
Let's go Pioneers tonight.
He just does it himself
There it
because
goes.
the music is playing.
It's playing.
There it is.
It takes a second to warm up.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in this afternoon. We love you and appreciate you. Thank you for those of you that are tuning in after catching one of our recordings. We appreciate that as well. Please make sure you share, tell your friends, tell your mom's friends. Everybody get in front of your TV and start rooting for these Buffs because that targeting penalty is not going to help them a whole lot. So let's get these Buffs going as... Did they wave it off? Oh, they might have waved that one off. So, yeah, let's get out there. Let's start
wave it off.
Well, Sanders is dancing, so Shiloh's dancing after they threw a flag for targeting. So I'm pretty sure he's doing the happy dance that they waved it off, luckily.
He could just have a head injury.
I mean, there's that too. Thank you, Michael Spill and everybody over at ef280sports.com for hosting us and having us. We love you guys. And thank you to our sponsor, Pikes Peak Sports Cards. Make sure you check over there. Maybe you can find that Paul Skeens rookie debut card and get yourself 30 years of behind home plate season tickets to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I still need to go buy myself a couple boxes. For the dancing Colin Zanker, for the dancing Joe Goodwin and the wax on, wax offing Colin Zanker. I am Nick Archuleta, doing nothing but sitting here talking. Thank you, everybody. We love you. Goodbye.
Waving it off, everybody. Waving it off.